Have you ever felt like you're just not living your life to the fullest? Like everyone around you is out there, achieving their dreams, living their best life, while you're stuck on the sidelines wondering when it's going to be your turn? I've been feeling that way lately, and honestly, it was starting to get to me. I've always been someone who wants to achieve a lot, but I just couldn't shake the feeling that I was wasting time. And for me, this year is a big one. I'll be turning 30, and I just didn't want to look back at my 20s and think, what happened? Why didn't I take more chances? Why didn't I do more? I knew I had to do something to change my mindset. So, about a week ago, I decided to try something new, a mantra that's been floating around online: do it for the plot. Yeah, I know, it sounds like just another viral trend, but hear me out. This mindset has honestly changed how I approach each day. It's helped me push myself to do more in just 1 week than I've done in an entire year. Let me explain. When I started thinking about my life as a plot, with me as the main character, it became a game changer. I began to think, what would make a great scene in this story? What would make this chapter exciting? It made me realize that my life is my own, and I should be living it like it's a story I'm excited to tell. So, I started by pushing myself out of my comfort zone. For example, I decided to go see a musical. And the crazy part? I went by myself. I didn't have anyone to go with, and I had no idea what to expect. But something in me said, you know what? Let's make this a moment worth remembering. Do it for the plot. And honestly, it was amazing. I was nervous at first, but once the show started, I got lost in the experience. I wouldn't have had that if I stayed in my comfort zone. It wasn't just about the show either. It was about stepping into something new and realizing that I don't need permission to live my life on my own terms. I don't have to wait for someone else to show up for me to enjoy my time. I can make moments like that happen on my own. And it was exhilarating. No expectations, just experience. Then there's the whole idea of putting myself first. I don't know about you, but I've always been the kind of person who puts others before myself. I say yes to things I don't really want to do, just to avoid disappointing people. But when I started adopting this do it for the plot mindset, I realized I had been self sabotaging. I'd been saying yes to things that drained me and saying no to things that brought me joy. It wasn't easy at first. Saying no felt uncomfortable, but I started to notice the difference. I said no to draining social commitments, and I said yes to things that lit me up, whether that was taking time to relax, pursuing a hobby, or even just spending the evening alone with a book. And let me tell you, I'm so much happier for it. Another huge lesson I learned was how often fear held me back from trying new things. Going to that musical, for example, I was scared. I didn't know what to expect, and that uncertainty almost made me back out. But then I remembered, the plot's gotta have some twists. Life can't be all predictable and safe. That's boring. And yes, I was scared. But you know what? Fear is a part of life. It's a sign that you're doing something new, something that stretches you. I'd rather face that fear and move forward than stay stuck in what's familiar and safe, but ultimately unfulfilling. Here's the thing: not everything I've done this week has been a hit. There have been moments where I tried something new and it didn't go as planned, like going to that movie by myself. I didn't love the film, and part of me felt like I wasted my time. But honestly, that's okay, because now I know. I experienced it, and I'm not left wondering what it might have been like. Plus, I got a funny story to tell about it. Sometimes it's not about getting everything right. It's about trying things, making mistakes, and learning from them. It's about living a life that's full of experiences, not just regrets. One of the biggest realizations I've had through all of this is that life is about so much more than just work. I've spent so much time in my head, thinking about productivity, about checking off boxes on my to-do list, and feeling unfulfilled at the end of the day. But now I've learned that the real joy comes from living, actually being present in the small moments, doing things just because they feel good. The dopamine rush I get from new experiences, whether it's seeing a musical, meeting a new person, or just spending an evening with myself, completely outweighs the emptiness I used to feel from mindlessly scrolling through my phone. It's like I've tapped into a well of happiness that was always there, just waiting for me to show up and drink from it. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know where to start, or I'm scared to try something new, Here's my advice: don't overthink it, just do it. Do it for the plot, do it for yourself. Life is too short to hold back. We don't get to rewind the tape. So make your story one worth telling. Go out there, try something new, push through the fear, and embrace whatever comes next. You might just surprise yourself, because at the end of the day, it's your story. And trust me, it's going to be epic.